podcast for the OWASP Top 10 for Large Language Model Applications. If you'd like to stay up to date with our project, please click subscribe. And if you enjoy the content or have any questions, please feel free to comment and share. Now, on to our meeting.
All right, everybody, welcome to the November 6th edition of the OWASP Top 10 for LLM Applications meeting. We don't have a ton of slides today. I've been traveling on some personal business for the last few days, and I got the slide deck out to the core team really late. But we do have some really important topics to go over. So we're going to dive in, and then anybody who's got business, whether or not you got slides into the deck or not, can definitely raise it. So I know Ads is on, so Ads, please jump in here. Scott as well, since we're kind of getting down to the end of production and getting into launch mode. Both of you guys are critical here, but the basic gist is Ads and Tetsuo have produced what we're calling a release candidate. Back in my non-agile software days, these are the kinds of things you would do before you would cut a CD-ROM or something like that, where you're like, do the whole build, let it gel for a little bit, make sure you feel good about it. In fact, I've seen people, I think Mohit, who's on the call, posted about a half dozen broken links, which are just the kinds of things you want to find in a release candidate like this. So I suspect with that amount of stuff, Krishna also posted a list. We'll probably build one more RC the end of the week, just call it RC2 and make sure we're really 100% good. But overall, I think the material looks really good. So really it's between here and end of the week, kind of over the weekend, final tweaks. Ideally, we would have that kind of, have this really locked down by Monday. And then, Scott, when we get to your section, let's talk about what we want to do in terms of announcement dates. We should pick a target here for next week. But just for everyone here and also for people on the recording, there are links to the release candidate on the main channel, as well as the V2 Brainstorm channel, which is where we're taking feedback, or here is the direct link to the PDF in the GitHub repo. Please dive in, help us give it a scrub. If you have feedback, post it in the V2 brainstorming channel. That's what we're going to use to close down this 2025 list. So Ads, do you want to add any comments about what you need people to do before we wrap this up in the next few days?
Just feedback is cool. Thanks. Just like errors, anything that doesn't look right. I don't want to go down like discussion about entries and stuff like that, more so like stuff that Mohit pointed out, which I've just fixed. So thank you for that. Just
I think what
spelling, just housekeeping.
Yeah, I think we're looking for gross spelling errors, broken links, super broken formatting. We're not taking stylistic input, but if you see something that's really broken there, those are the things to flag. At this point, the list is what the list is. It's in the order that it is, and we're not really taking commentary on the commentary. We've been working at this for 6+ months. I feel like we've got a really strong list here. So with that, few more days to get your eyeballs on it, help us find any of those things. There's a lot of interest in this out there. Scott will talk about the interest in just announcing some of our ancillary projects, but in some ways that was just the warm up for this. So we're going to get a lot of interest in this. It's going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. So we want to make it look as good as possible. And special shout out to Scott for, I think he'll talk about it, but you all know he's been working the sponsorship project that has put some money in our bank account. Scott has used some of that both to hire the PR firm who's helping with this and Ads. Okay. All right. So both hiring the PR firm that's helping with the announcement and the graphic designer who's come up with the new graphics. You can just see one sample here, but we have different Slightly different layouts for the different types of docs we have now, given the number of docs coming out from the group. So super, super cool. So with that, we will now go over and go on to the next slide. And
Thanks, Steve.
here we go.
I just wanted
Scott.
to,
Oh,
yeah, sorry,
ads, go
I didn't
ahead.
want to. Yeah, I literally, I was just kidding, but in all seriousness, for spelling, if anyone does figure anything out, it's US English, just to confirm as well, because I know it's a chat about that. So cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no random swapping of Z's for S's. We're that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott.
Sure. So as you know, we put out, so we've got new stuff coming out. Yes, we'll talk about that in a second. But also wanted to recap a little bit about what we announced this last week ago now. So there's more stats I have. I didn't get a chance to slam them all in here, but next time we will have a full readout of all the stats. So we did do the launch before Halloween. Which was great. And so we got a great number of a lot of feedback. So as I said here, we already got one article out here from Dark Reading. We actually have several other articles that are in development, as you can see here. We put out the press release. We had 245 pickups initially the day of, and the day after. So we got a much broader reach, 157 million in terms of our audience that we reached in that. I've been continuing to do briefings with a number of publications which are in the process of putting out more articles. So we'll start seeing that as well. A lot of this takes a little bit of rolling time. We also put out the LinkedIn post, which thanks everybody for sharing, and thanks Steve for putting out a LinkedIn post too. Anybody who wants to do that and promote that, it's great. We hit some of our first ever kind of new numbers. With our LinkedIn posts, we had the largest combined number of actual ads to our LinkedIn following number of followers. So we hit over 100 on a single day, nearly 100 on a single day, and 170 over 2 days, which is a first for the project. So it's getting out there. News is good. I just got off this morning talking with Forrester. So we're getting interest from analysts as well as press. And so they're very excited to hear about the project. They haven't heard a lot about OWASP projects we're finding in the past. And so they're very excited about this. I've also teased them a little bit with what's coming up in November. So they're warmed up to kind of take that on. So again, anything you guys can do to help promote, there are some posts out there. But I want to give you just that quick snapshot of what we've got so far. So great feedback. The interest is growing. I'll have some more stats for the next meeting that are rolled up.
Hey, Scott, I know those, when you say 245 pickups, that's actual like reprints of the press release that people
Yes.
did.
Yes.
If any of those are, or at least decent URLs, let's keep track of those. I find that regular Google tools won't find those anymore. They're too good at deduping.
Yep.
Let's make a spreadsheet, and then when the actual articles come out, let's do we have a spot to post those maybe on the website?
Yeah, we do. We have our news section, so they'll all be posted
Okay.
on the news section as they come out. And we
Great.
do have a list, the agency. So we do, as Steve mentioned, we've been fortunate to have a number of sponsors as we start to put together our sponsor program who have stepped in already and are helping to support the project. And so some of that funding has helped us bring on a PR firm. And that PR firm is keeping a list of all the pickups. So we have a spreadsheet of all the pickups, and we have a spreadsheet of all of the outreach that we're doing. So all of that is being maintained. So we have that to share. I was hoping to share that with you guys, just didn't get a chance to slam it in this morning. So, but we'll do that in the next call.
Good stuff.
So we're making an impact. To give example here, I didn't have a chance to snap the screen for the latest on our stats, but I did have an opportunity to look at it. So we do have, so if you look at what our stats have been over the last 7 days, this was as of October 9th, our last meeting. We actually, between these two times, we've now jumped up to over 60,000 views on our website and over 36,000 visitors. So we're a 10 or 20x times where we were pre the PR that we did outreach for. And that looks like that is
Awesome.
continuing to be sustained. So if I look at day over day, we seem to be, in that more in that 30 range than we have been in the past. So we're in double-digit ranges now, which is great for visibility for the project. And I do get this question often when we were briefing, and just want to make sure everybody knows that it's live. The searchable directory of solutions. So we have the solutions landscape document and the online directory. We have also what will be coming out is we have a couple of infographics that I'll be sharing with the team that our creative contractor has been working on, which map a lot of the capabilities into a nice graphics layout for the landscape. So that'll be coming out in the next day or so, and then we'll be using that to once again promote the solutions document. Our goal is to continue between now and the next press release to re-promote each of the assets through social media so that we can independently, so that we can go ahead and continue to drive traction and drive interest. We just did the one post out, and the other posts people have made have been great. We've seen those amplify, but as we start to put out individual posts, that'll help kind of keep the motor running as we come up to the launch for the next one. So that transitions me to the launch for the next one. And so we are targeting probably the 18th or the 19th to make sure that we have time for pre-briefs. There have been a number of folks who saw this announcement and they want to be educated on what's coming up in November, more specifically the deltas between the top 10, what was and what is in the new top 10 for 2025, as well as the sponsorship program. So the two elements we'll be announcing will be the new asset as well for the new top 10 list, as well as the sponsorship program. The sponsorships are growing. So we have, I don't think I put the slide in here because it wasn't quite updated, but it's we have roughly close to 10 or 11 sponsors right now who have signed on to sponsor or are in the pipeline for sponsoring. And so we'll be able to highlight those, and then we'll launch this formal sponsor program. There were another 5 or 8 sponsors that have said they're interested. We're just trying to move through the list there. If anybody on the core team has some spare time, I could certainly use a little help on the follow-up. So if anybody wants to put on a BD hat and help me along, that would be great. But we are on track in terms of what we expect for announcement, and so that's our timing. So the 18th or 19th. We want to get out ahead of the holiday when people start traveling, starting the 20th, 21st. But we also want to make sure we got time. And it sounds like also it'll give us time to make sure we lock things down too with the release candidate too, and make sure everything is good to go.
Yeah, Scott, let's you and I sync today and try to decide a date. I had been thinking
we had originally the 14th.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking.
Yeah, and it's just going to be depending on the timing. So we want to make sure we also get a little bit of time with a few of these folks ahead of time if we can.
Mm-hmm. All right, Scott, looks like Russell's raising his hand to help, so in the chat.
Oh, great.
Okay,
sounds good.
All right, folks. So that was the business the leads officially brought. But again, I was really late getting the slide deck out. So does anybody have business they want to raise to the team today? Emmanuel.
Morning, everyone. I just want to make a comment. I've been working on the mapping, so I already mapped our 2025 list to 26 cybersecurity frameworks, and I have updated our wiki, so it's very easy to navigate now through all of these resources that can come alongside our list. And on end of this week, I'm planning to start a first or a second two sprints for the data security white paper, so that can be launched with the dates that Scott just announced. So we can just bring another resource to the package of what we're already working on. So just to have something else coming out of the data gathering methodology group. And yeah, so anyone that wants also to help out, I'll be discussing through our channel. And yeah, so I just want to bring the awareness that the work is done. Also, I published 3 data sets, one for exploits, vulnerabilities, and risk management. It's still small, but I don't despise the small beginnings. I was figuring out my ways since you gave me the chance, Steve. I said, okay, I'll take on this. I've never done it, data gathering methodology initiative. So I've been figuring out as I go. So so I'm pretty confident what I've built, and we can just grow from there. So thank you.
That's great. That's great. We've got the framework ready to go. Nearly.
Anybody else today? Hey, Sandy, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's your plan for next rev on the CISO doc?
It's mostly me umming anyway, but you know, waiting for the next rev of these to go out. And Steve, as I said, when I really looked at it, it was like it still applied. It was still relevant, around the strategy. So I've been helping, paying a lot of attention to the red teaming document and trying to get help with that where I can. And then the threat modeling or the threat intelligence document that Rachel is leading. So that's where I've been putting my extra cycles.
Yeah. For Scott and Sandy, you two should talk about whether if we're going to keep the current rev for a while, which I'm fine with, do we at least want to pour it into the new template so it matches the other doc?
It's already done.
Oh,
it was
okay.
It was done with the PR.
Okay, great.
Because it was mentioned, so it had to be done. So
Fantastic.
So we got the fresh cover on it. We need to go through and do the full layout, but at least has the fresh cover on it. So we're
okay.
That piece. And then the other thing that's happening today, I want to make sure there are some folks who are joining, which is we have a meeting with the SNAC team and the CSA team for Singapore to kind of look at a testing guide against the top 10 for LLM specifically. And so that will fall into the red teaming activity. So we'll be talking a little bit about their submissions this afternoon and how that can fit into what the red teaming is going on. So Sandy, I don't know if you wanted to join that, because I know you're I can send you the invite for that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go send you that. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific time to support the team in Singapore.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Hey Scott, have you yet created an updated project slide that has all the docs in it?
I do. So you were and that was one of the things I was going to share here. I just didn't get it rolled into the deck yet. There's 2 things that I'm working on. One, there's an updated slide that has everything there. There's also some work that we're doing, so we're clear about who all of the project owners are and who people can go to, because I get regular questions of, I want to help, where can I go? And right now, we really don't have a very good mechanism for guiding people. So I'm putting together some content to kind of help us with that guidance. And so I'll have both of those that we can share out on that. So, and we'll also have a slide version of the landscape. So we've got some new stuff coming up, and I've got some new decks that we're trying to get polished up sometime this week.
Okay. I got a bunch of prezos coming up between now and Monday where I could share it. If you could slide me over just that one updated slide, I would drop it into things.
I can send you the analyst deck.
Perfect.
So
I will deal liberally. And I should have some stuff to share back with you too, because I've been doing a bunch of updating on my decks.
Great.
All right, folks. Anybody
Can I
else
get-
have? Oh, sorry. Go
I was
ahead,
just
Sandy.
just Scott, if I could get that too, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm happy to share that with you. Yeah. I have
Okay.
both. I shared 2 decks that I have. I have the one deck, which is an overview deck that I created for InfoSec World a few weeks ago, which kind of goes over the whole project. And then I have the analyst deck, which is more specifically around the announcements that we have. But I can share both
Okay.
with you, so you have those.
Awesome. All right. Going once, twice, 3 times. Hey, everybody. Tons of momentum here. I know that like with this many things going on, it feels oddly disjoint. But that's because there's so much stuff going on, and we can see the traction, with the traffic going up on the website by factor of 10, and that's going to multiply next week when we get out the full list, because we all know that's the crown jewel, so to speak. We're going to get a ton of interest in that. So thanks to everybody, whether you're here in person or watching this later on the replay. Can't thank everybody enough for your hard work. We're going to get these out, and then, honestly, I think we're going to go into education mode again between now and the end of the year. I know there are some of these docs, like the Red Team doc, that are actively being developed, and those are going to, again, be sort of working on between now and the end of the year. So this is the last sprint, I think, for the year. Get these out, and that'll carry us on into January, February, when there'll be new stuff out. So thanks everybody, and catch up with you again in a couple weeks, and we'll recap the launch of the new doc. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for checking out our bi-weekly meeting podcast. If you'd like to stay up to date on all the latest news for the OWASP Top 10 for large language model applications, please click subscribe. And of course, we'd appreciate it if you'd share with a friend to grow our community. We'll see you in 2 weeks.